Today, we compare two affordable integrated bracelet sports watches that represent the style that was first introduced in the 70s and had a bit of a revival recently, with more and more brands introducing their own take on the design language. I know the term affordable might get you to cringe, given one is just under $700, while the other is almost double that price, but compared to the original Gerald Genta designed AP Royal Oak and Patek Nautilus, these really are only a fraction of the price of those two. Tissot PRX, that has been on the market for a few years now, and the newly released Christopher Ward the 12 take their own paths in creating an integrated bracelet watch. And although at first glance all these watches are similar, details make them worlds apart. Both come in at 40 millimeters in diameter and both feature Swiss-made automatic movements from third parties, not their own in-house made calibers, which is to be expected at this price point. PRX uses an ETA 2824 in the Powermatic 80 variant, meaning it has an increased power reserve from the usual 38 hours to 80, but at a cost of lowering the beat rate from a standard 28,800 bph or 8 beats per second we're used to seeing in Swiss watches to a more Japanese-looking 21,600 or 6 beats per second like most Seiko, Orient, and Citizen watches. Christopher Ward, on the other hand, comes with an ETA clone, a Sellita SW200 in this steel variant and a COSC-certified SW300 in the titanium version. Both of these have a lower power reserve but keep the smoothness of 28,800 bph. So it is a matter of personal preference, whether you prefer a longer power reserve or a smoother seconds hand. As you will see by the end of this video, this whole comparison comes down to personal preference, as there is no clear winner, spec or quality-wise. Both come with 100 meters of water resistance, with Christopher Ward offering extra security due to having a screw-in crown versus PRX's traditional push-pull crown. Size-wise, although they're both the same in terms of diameter, they do wear quite a bit differently. The 12 is a whole millimeter thinner, even 2 if you opt for the titanium version, and also due to the shape of the end link and angles at which the bracelet leaves the case, also looks shorter, which means it wears much better on my small 6.5-inch wrist, while the strong taper on the bracelet makes it look more like a traditional watch with a wide bracelet. PRX, on the other hand, at 11.4 millimeters in thickness, still looks pretty thin, because the case is more flat with wider surfaces. It has more wrist presence and looks more massive in a way, but also feels just a tad too long, again on my 6.5-inch wrist. If your wrist is 6.7 and more, it will look perfect. Due to this flatness and wider bracelet, I think it captures the integrated bracelet look better than Christopher Ward, coming closer in style to the AP Royal Oak, if that is something that you're looking for. The dial and hands on the PRX are also more in the spirit of the 70s, with thin markers and pretty flat hands, while the 12 looks more modern with large bold markers and faceted hands. I prefer the dial of the PRX, as it is more understated and elegant. In one word, it looks more mature and serious. And although at first glance it seems simple, when you get up close you realize it has facets and different finishes on the markers in hands, but they're just not in your face. Like an older muscular guy wearing elegant clothes that don't show the muscles they have clearly. The 12, on the other hand, is like a younger guy flexing its muscles and wearing clothes that really show it. Every facet on the markers in hands is big and more pronounced, catching the light and shimmering as you move your wrist. It shows its complexity, angles, and different finishes proudly, making them visible at any distance, and is better finished ever so slightly. Even the bezels and bracelets follow the same design, with PRX having a simple, smooth, all-polished one, and Christopher Ward having 12 distinct angles that are then placed at different angles and again finished differently to distinguish them even more. While the bracelet on the PRX is simple with brushed top and side, the 12 has brushed top and sides and an additional polished facet that separates the two, again resulting in a flashier look-at-me type of a watch. Personally, I prefer the look of the PRX. It is more elegant, more understated, which balances out the already large wrist presence of these types of watches, but prefer the way Christopher Ward wears. It simply follows my wrist better and is more comfortable because of that. Both are amazing, quality and finish-wise, and it is only a matter of personal preference which one you choose. Well, that and the price. At just over $1,200, the 12 is almost double the price of the PRX, and while it is noticeably more complex and ever so slightly better finished, the PRX on top of the price advantage has brand recognition and heritage on its side, as this is a recreation of their watch from the 70s when the integrated bracelet design was first introduced. If the PRX was slightly shorter and wore better on my smallish wrist, it would definitely be on my buying list. But like this, or until I tried a 35mm one, the 12 remains a stronger contender that I might add to my collection. I still have to think about it. If my wrist was 7 inches and more, I would take the PRX in a heartbeat. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.